Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and it is that time of month yet again to do the updated tier list. Now that all the fire units have released, I have tested them extensively, and I have a good feeling for what they can do, where they can fit, and their strengths and weaknesses. It's time to update this. So we're going to start off with Protector because it's going to go very, very quick. New Toa is just a better Hakuro. So I'm going to put her in front of Hakuro in S tier because we all know what Hakuro does. 3 blues, 3 greens to 6 oranges, and gives you 40 skill points. Done. He was a mainstay for literally every single team that ran anything that didn't nerf oranges, and pretty much almost every Jubilee stage, Hakuro was king. Now Toa comes along, and she does 3 green, 3 blue to 6 orange. She gives you 40 skill points, and she makes sure that the oranges give you extra skill points. So it's literally everything Hakuro did with extra skill points on the oranges. So it just makes her a better option. So Hakuro, still godly. If you have Hakuro, you don't have Toa, don't feel too bad about it. If you have Toa and you don't have Hakuro, good, you don't need them. And if you have both, just use Toa, because she's just better. She fits up there. I'm also going to drop this Veldora into the stacking power, which is not a downgrade. It's just like a separate branch of S tier because these 3 are good for, short events, they're not stacking. These need to be used on more specific teams. Veldora can definitely run multiple teams that are magic based, but it's still, you do need to get stacks with him. So you do need to use skills. You do need to use him a bunch. I would say that he is equivalent to Watermelon and what he does, because Watermelon gives you so many points. Veldora is just resetting, so nothing costs you extra. But I believe that he still exists in the stacking power segment of this tier list. So again, not a slight to him, it's not a downgrade, it's just moving him into a different tier of S, essentially. Because I can't do like S and then something over here, right? So Toa, godly, awesome, perfect, love her. Moving on to the free-to-play units, there are 2 free-to-play units that we must rank today. One that is available to everybody, and one that is available to people who have nothing better to do with their lives. So this free-to-play hero is okay, right? He gives away 3 orange orbs to whoever has the highest attack stat, kind of like what the Wind 2.0 meta was doing, and then his second skill is the burn and physical resistance down, which is fine, but it is fairly limited to 1, a fire team, and 2, a physical team. So I wouldn't call him the most necessary thing in the world, which is kind of unfortunate, because this free-to-play Wind Shuna is a defensive tank. She benefits the Wind team immensely. This Shinsha is an orb changer and a light buff. Maru is a good single-target DPS. Aaron is an orb changer, plus that HP up and crit resistance up. I believe Hero would slot in around here, right? Frey is a double orb changer and giveaway. She works well in the space team. Misery is really, really good for any team that's running green. She's also a healer. Hero does not give the team what these 2 do. He's not a true orb changer. You need oranges first to give away those oranges to someone. And the burn is, again, very limited. And, the light buff is limited. It's fine. He fits into the B slot. This Fire Slime Rimuru, though, is entertaining. He has 2 orb changes. 1 orange to green, or no, 1 green to orange and 1 blue to orange, which is pretty cool. But I don't think he benefits much from anything else on this tier, or especially these tiers. I'm going to put him in C tier, alright? I think he's better than Albus and Ranga. You're an orb changer, you're like a self-healer, you're an orb changer. I think he fits in fine here. Definitely not, what people should be aiming for as far as having to pick something to grind versus something else to grind. He's a fun little unit that they added in for the movie. And I do appreciate that they're adding new units in. And it is definitely a grind to get him, which gave me something to do. But he's definitely not what I would consider necessary for 90% of players. So there's the hero and slime. Now let's move on to the actual, meat of this tier list. And we have many, many units to rank this month because we got 4 fire units, and we also have bitch-ass Octagram Dino. But before we rank them, we're going to make a few, actually I think one small change up on this existing list, and that is moving Space Leon down to B. Space Leon is very good in Valor Cup, right? He can be very good in Valor Cup. He can be pretty good in his Tempered Edge stage. But as far as anything else is concerned, he's really not all that. So I'm going to put him down here. I don't think he exists up in this tier, and definitely not any higher. So that's really the only change. Moving forward, I think I might knock these three down. I mean, these two are mainstay reroll targets. You are also technically a reroll target, but you're all kind of slowly being outclassed. But as far as newer players, these are great units, right? Everything else up here, I'm fine with for now. And everything else up here, I'm also fine with. So let's move on. We're going to rank Dino first because it's terrible. He's F tier, which is funny because we now have 3 Octagram units in F tier. This is not the Valor Cup list, so Guy is still going to be down here. If this was Valor Cup, Space Leon would still be up, higher. This is not Valor Cup. This is general purpose usage over the entire game, and you have shit usage. You don't belong in the Water 2.0 team. You don't really belong on the Water 1.0 team. So I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do. You're AoE, you're debuffing, you're healing yourself, but also cutting your attack. So I guess longevity is a factor. I don't get it. I would... it's really unfortunate that they build these Octagram units up oh yeah, you gotta grind all this currency, you gotta grind all these missions to get the coins to buy them, and then he drops and you're kind of like, oh, your ass. I guess I'm saving more coins. So I know a lot of people that have a 100 Space Millum and a 100 Valentine, and they don't have any of these ones. No, we're Romerus, because it really doesn't fucking matter, because they're all pretty bad. And these are the only 2 that are actually worth the goddamn dupes. So, unfortunate. Hopefully, whenever the Octagram Rimuru drops, we don't know if he's going to be a battle unit, a protector unit, we don't know what meta he's going to be part of. We don't know anything other than the fact that they're making him. So, hopefully they don't fumble his ass like the rest of them. So, Dino's out of the way, rant is over. Let's move on to the first fire unit, which is this Fire Benny Maru, who can be a reasonable unit. He's got the orb change and the burn, and he's also got that extra damage on oranges and the instant damage, which on this new fire team works out really well because Toa's making a whole bunch of oranges, boosting their damage on top of everything is pretty good. But I don't really consider him necessary again, so I'm going to put him in B tier. His single target damage while being attack growth it's actually pretty atrocious. I could have AoE units do more damage than him with the same amount of buffs, which is kind of hilarious. Which makes me think that he's broken, but he's not actually broken. He's just weak. Not, definitely not the main DPS of the fire team, which we know is Violet. He's there more to support, to orb change, to, burn, and give the extra buff on the oranges, which you would give away to Violet, and then she would do lots and lots of damage. So definitely a solid B tier. I don't think he's bad enough to drop into C tier, but he's not good enough to drop to put any higher. Violet. Violet is her own thing. She can run on any team because she's very selfish, right? She's got the burn and attack buff, and then she's got guaranteed crit and guaranteed pierce for herself. She literally needs no one except for someone to buff her ult. And then she can do fairly good damage, which is good, because as a DPS, give them support, and you make them better, yes. But can they work on their own? Also, yes. Space Millum can work on her own. She's giving herself Drago in space. Bride Shion technically needs another Pierce unit to really bring out the power in her, but she can still put up numbers. Hinata technically needs a unit to give her crit, but she still has an attack buff. Violet, I think, is better than both of them. And really, the placement on this level doesn't really matter, but she can supply herself with 3 major buffs and call it good. And then you send her away and come back. And she's single target. She has the enhanced ult damage, so 495 up to, 4 something. You get that extra 10% when she's 6-star, and it puts her at, like, I think 500% or somewhere around there. I don't really remember. But she's very, very good. Very, very, very good, solid DPS unit. I am not displeased with her performance thus far. So, godly tier she goes. The next unit, Velsard, Fire Velsard, the AoE DPS of the Fire 2.0 meta, is, again, another selfish unit, because she's orb stealing from everybody, like Benny Maru and Light Daggerel, and she's also buffing her ult by 40% and her attack by 30%. So she also doesn't really need anyone. In fact, she needs less. She's not getting crit, but you can very easily give her crit either with Hero or Fire Melon or someone else. You don't need an ult buffer for her, because she's already doing it. You don't need an attack buffer, because she's doing that too. You could give her Pierce, but she's not giving herself Pierce anyway, so that's not really the point. But as far as most generalized content, I kind of think that she exists alongside the realm of Light Leon, who we just moved down, because being an AoE, being his own kind of buffer is cool in an AoE-focused kind of event, but most PvE content is single target. There are some Crucible matches, there are Tempered Edges, but, you know, Fire Tempered Edge is one unit. You're not going to bring Velsard as your primary nuker against Claimant with 680,000 HP. You can bring her in Valor Cup, you can definitely bring her in Tower, and she can shine there. That's 2 events out of the entire game, though. They're big events, yes, but only 2. So I think she's going to stay in B tier. I mean, I have used her, and I have really enjoyed her in Valor Cup, so when I eventually do Valor Cup tier list, she will be higher than B tier, I guarantee you. But for now, B tier it is. And that leaves the last fire unit, Fire Shizu, the fire support. So she is giving, what, Pierce power, and what is it, the AoE resistance down. So she is helping both Velsard for the AoE and the Pierce power, so she's helping Violet as well. So she's double covered there. And then her first skill is the 50% fire support attack, which is significant. Very, very, very good. And I think, you know, even if she's AoE, the fact that she's supporting both ends of the single target and AoE as far as that one skill is concerned, and then the fire support is literally for all fire units, I think actually I like her enough to put her up into A tier. Because she can support both sides. It's not like she's only supporting Violet or only supporting Velsard. She's supporting both sides. And I think she's fairly good. And, you know, I like her. Could I hear arguments about dropping her into B tier? 100%. Totally. I could hear arguments about that. But I personally like her enough to put her in A tier. Maybe in the coming months we'll figure it out and I'll move her down eventually. But for now, I think she's A tier. And everyone can argue in the comments about my placements, which they do anyways. So that is it for my overall tier list. We've got the new Violet as godly. We've got Hero and Rimuru as, you know, B and C, unfortunately, kind of underwhelming units. I don't even think I used Hero in Jubilee, to be perfectly honest with you. And then we've got Toa as the new goddess of protection units. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about all of my placements. Let me know how angry you are, or how happy you are. Mostly angry, though, because it's hilarious. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.